Miss Julie here is going to keep us on time, no doubt about it. Thank you, Julie. Thank you to the League of Women Voters. They're all volunteers, and I think we should give them a round of applause because they do this on their own time. So thank you, Julie. Thank you for the team back here that is videotaping. We really appreciate the time and effort of you guys being here to all make this happen. Most of all, thank you to the candidates for all being here. This is really special that all 12 candidates are here, and we just appreciate you having an interest to run for Greenwood Village, and thank you in advance for being here to answer all the questions. And I would like to introduce the publishers of the Villager newspaper for the past 43 years, Bob and Jerry Sweeney, and it's their love, it's their passion, what they do, and they're still doing it. So, Dad, I'd like for you to say something.
Well, I'll only say a word or two. I see Mayor Lance has arrived, and Debbie. Good evening, Mayor. How are you? And I saw Mr. Kerber come in here a few minutes ago. There he is back here. Any other? Ann? Yes, and Ann Inkervinson. So it's good to have anybody. Any more mayors in here? I don't think so. We go back, I go all the way back, I think, with 7 mayors in this newspaper. And it's good to be your local newspaper, to be here tonight. Good government begins at home. So we start here and we go all the way to Washington. So thank you for coming. There's other things to do tonight, but we appreciate you being here. And we thank Frida for her great work and her writing. We thank you for the League of Women Voters of Arapahoe and Douglas County. And Robin Weiss for allowing us to be here tonight in this beautiful room. John Madden helped make this possible, by the way. So welcome, and we'll start the debate.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Julie Hugan, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Arapahoe and Douglas Counties and the moderator of tonight's candidate forum. The sponsors of tonight's forum, as Susan mentioned, are the League of Women Voters of Arapahoe and Douglas Counties and the Villager. The League of Women Voters is an organization fully committed to justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion in principle and in practice. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are central to the organization's current and future success in engaging all individuals, households, communities, and policymakers in creating a more perfect democracy. The League's mission is empowering voters, defending democracy. We envision a democracy where every person has the desire, right, knowledge, and confidence to participate. The League is a nonpartisan organization that promotes citizen participation in government and does not support or oppose any political party or candidate. But the views expressed today are not those of the League of Women Voters. This is a forum for the candidates running for the Greenwood Village City Council. The City Council is comprised of 8 members, with 2 members elected by the residents of and representing each of the city's 4 districts. Members serve a 2-year term and can serve up to 4 consecutive terms. All candidates whose names will appear on the official ballot were invited and are participating tonight. There are 12 candidates for the 8 seats on the council, with 2 seats per district. Here with us tonight are from District 1, Ann Nelson and Paul Wiesner. From District 2, Jack Coffey, Bob Doyle, Rich Easton, and Jay Schneiderman. From District 3, Libby Barnacle, Donna Johnston, Daniel Zhukov. And from District 4, Gary Kleeman, Katrin Metzger, and Tom Stahl. Thank you to the candidates for participating tonight, and thank you for attending. Each candidate will have 1 minute for an opening statement, 1 minute to answer each question, and 1 minute for a closing statement. Audience members, we ask that you do not react positively or negatively to any of the candidate statements or answers to questions, and please hold all applause until the end of the forum. Please do not record audio or video of tonight's forum. All of tonight's questions have been prepared by the Villager and League staff. If you have a question for the candidates, please write your question on a note card. Those were handed out at the door when you came in, but you can also feel free to get another if you need one. Hand it to those note cards to volunteers before you leave the forum tonight. If your question is specific to one or more candidates, like, for example, specifically to District 2 candidates, then you should note that on the card. I would like District 2 candidates to answer this question. If you would like the candidates to answer your question, please include your name and email address on the card. If you don't want an answer from the candidates, then you can just not include your name and email address on the card. All of your questions will be compiled and provided both to the villager and to the league staff, as well as to all of the candidates. If you provide your name and email address for an answer to your question, the candidates will contact you directly at that email address with their answers. Any and all audience questions may be published in the Villager. If published, a question will not have any name, email address, or identifying information associated with it. Tonight's candidate forum is not being live streamed, but it is being recorded. The recording will later be available on both the Villager and the League websites for viewing. After tonight's 2-hour forum ends, the candidates will be available outside this room for a meet and greet, and there is also campaign literature available outside this room. You are more than welcome to stay and chat and certainly to meet the candidates, but please do so outside this room and be sure to leave the building by 8:30 tonight. All right. So let's get started with our candidates' opening statements. So up first, we have District 1, and Ann Nelson will kick us off.
Hi, I'm Ann Nelson, and I'm a candidate for Greenwood Village District 1. Thank you all for being here and being interested in the political process within your own community. Thank you to the Villager and the League of Women Voters for hosting this event. My platform has always been preserving and protecting the special place we call home. I'm honored to have represented District 1 for the past 2 years, and as we are running unopposed, we look forward to continuing to serve our village in the best ways possible. We're fortunate to live in a city which has city government and staff that run as transparently, as efficiently, and as responsive to its residents as I think I've ever seen. Our police department is highly trained and a huge asset to our community. As public safety has always been very important to me, I appreciate that. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
And Paul Wiesner.
Yeah, I'm Paul Wiesner. I'm running for District 1. This will be my 3rd term. I'd also like to thank the League of Women Voters and everyone that my co-partner here has thanked. As Ann, I'm running here to preserve and protect. And what does that mean? It's really 5 pillars. We got safety, which really translates to freedom. When you're walking around, if you don't feel safe, you're not free. Well-maintained infrastructure, high-quality aesthetics and architecture, and reasonable development, and a diversity of parks and trails that we all like to go walk and bike on. Of course, none of this could be possible if you aren't here and can control your own destiny. So I'm here to say, we believe in home rule, and that's what we're here to protect. Because without that, you're not going to have a say in what your city's going to look like. Thank you, and I appreciate the chance for the debate.
Thank you. And moving on to District 2, Jack Coffey.
To use a phrase now popular in the pet adoption services industry, I found my forever home is Greenwood Village. After decades spent on either the west or east coast of this country. And I've entered this race to do my part to ensure that our community decisions reflect the values of our residents. Throughout my career, I've worked to bring diverse groups together and find solutions that affect everybody's interests. At times, an issue arises that makes compromise impossible, and the battle must be fought. For me, that issue is home rule and the attempt by state officials to interject themselves into local planning and zoning matters. That is a battle we must win, and it's a driving force for me entering this race. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob Doyle.
Thank you. I'll say a little bit about myself, but I want to say I appreciate all of you coming here tonight and the opportunity to speak. I'm a retired environmental engineer, and I had a history of leading people and projects to get things done. And that's what I plan to do if I'm elected to City Council. I also am an artist, so I'm highly sensitive to the aesthetics of our community. And in fact, I paint in and around the community. I'm a family man, and like you, I would do most anything to protect the welfare and safety and future of my family. My 2 daughters, my wife, of course, my granddaughter, and my stepson, or my son-in-law. I just want to say that I think the best way I can give back to the community is to lead projects and processes that will improve and enhance the lifestyle of everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you. Rich Easton.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for inviting us and for you for being here. Your decision and vote regarding who you want to represent you and guide the future of Greenwood Village is extremely important. The character, dynamic, and goodness of Greenwood Village is dependent upon the voting decisions you'll make on November 4th. I feel compelled to continue my support for the city that I've lived in for over 30 years. My mission will be to provide the stewardship that preserves the excellence we have in Greenwood Village today. At the same time, I will look for new opportunities, ideas, and innovations for improvement where possible. If elected, I believe my 6 years of experience with Planning and Zoning Commission, leadership capabilities, analytical and problem-solving skills, and work ethic will benefit the residents of Greenwood Village and the city. During my tenure, I will ask for input, listen, and respond in the best way I can to your concerns. I look forward to the questions tonight. Thank you.
And Jay Schneiderman.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the League of Women Voters and the Villager for putting on this event tonight. I'd like to say I'm running for City Council because I love Greenwood Village. I've lived here for over 30 years. I grew up here, and now I'm raising my children here. And I'd like to see Greenwood Village stay the wonderful place to live and to raise children that it has been for at least my entire life. For about the last 12 months, I took it upon myself to start going to city council meetings every month. And I have to say, in that time, I've developed a passion for watching and seeing local government in action. It's turned from something I was considering doing to something I've decided I absolutely have to do. And that's why I'm here tonight, and that's why I hope to convince the people in District 2 to vote for me and to let me represent you as your council member. I'm open-minded. I want to hear from all people who have any ideas or suggestions, and I will do so if I'm elected. Thank you.
From District 3, Libby Barnacle.
Yes. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you to the League of Women Voters and to the Villager for sponsoring this wonderful event. Together, Donna Johnston and I have had the pleasure of serving District 3 for the last 6 years. We have the education and experience to be effective leaders. Along with the countless number of capital improvement projects we have overseen and advocated for, and we've also been successful in receiving additional funding for our top-notch law enforcement to keep our neighbors safe. Most recently, we signed on to protect home rule and our residents' ability to have a say in the community in which they live. Donna and I are proven leaders. We have performed in our service to the village, and we look forward to another 2 years.
Donna Johnston.
Yes, thank you for having us and for the opportunity to present our views. Libby and I have been on council with many others for 6 years, and before that we were on other boards, Planning and Zoning for Libby, Board of Adjustments and Appeals for myself, and prior to that, I was involved in Sundance Hills HOA for many years. So, serving the community is just, some people really like to do it, and I think that describes us. We've accomplished a lot. A lot of people just don't know what City Council does. It's all, fun things. But, we really deal with infrastructure, the budget, and we're very proud of the city as far as our financial stability. We don't have any debt. Just the revenue comes in year after year. And we preserve and protect. You'll hear that a lot tonight. That's what we'd like to do, as well as enhance. Thank you.
Daniel Zhukov.
Well, I'd like to say thank you, of course, to the villager and to the League of Women Voters for having us here, and to the mayor for attending. Thank you very much for everyone being here. And Greenwood Village is a unique place. I've lived here since I've been in kindergarten. And all across America, in every jurisdiction, every city, every town, we're in need of generational change. We're in need of people with young, bright ideas. Young citizens like myself are more frugal, we're more efficient. We're always open to listening, learning, accepting, and helping others. And if elected, I would like to embody a caring and informed city council member to best serve all of Greenwood Village across all districts, not just mine, and the young residents of that as well.
Moving on to District 4, Gary Kleeman.
Well, thank you for coming tonight, everyone, and thank you to the League of Women Voters and to the villager for putting on this forum, giving us this opportunity to speak to you all. It's just a joy for me to come back here and do this. The experience I had previously on City Council from 2003 to 2011 was a very interesting and rewarding experience, and I feel like that I contributed significantly during that time. So I would like to, now that I'm retired and have more time to devote to this, and no kids in the house, I feel like this is a great opportunity to do another run at City Council and do the best that I can and provide help to provide and protect the great services and events that our city has.
Katrin Metzger.
Also, thank you for everybody being here and for the villager and the League of Women Voters for hosting this event. I'm a resident of Greenwood Village for 14 years, and as a homeowner and parent, I want to keep our village the great village it is, to live, work, and raise a family. I have given my time for several years now to community service. I served as treasurer on the campus middle school PTO and have been a director treasurer on the Coffey HOA. Currently, I'm serving on the Greenwood Village Planning and Zoning Commission, and I am already part of shaping the future of Greenwood Village by being on that commission. And I would enjoy doing more as a council member, and I definitely will make sure your voices will be heard and help you vote for me in the vote.
Tom Stahl.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's fantastic to see this building finished. It was brought before us when I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and we spent a lot of time going through the site plan, making sure that the parking and everything else flowed. But anyway, I spent 6 years on the Board of Adjustments and Appeals, was appointed to that, and followed by a year on planning and zoning, and then I've been on City Council for the last 4 years representing District 4. It's been a great 11 years. I have had 100% meeting attendance on all those different boards and on council, and built strong working relationships with my fellow council people, the mayor and the city staff, and I hope to continue that for the next 2 years.
Thank you. So now we can move on to the first round of questions. For the audience, I will tell you, as I've already explained to the candidates, every candidate will have the opportunity to answer every question that we ask tonight. However, we are not going to ask the candidates the questions in exactly the same order, and that's mostly so you all do not have to hear 12 different answers to one question at a time. So starting with the first question round, we are going to begin with District 2, and the first person in District 2 who will be answering the first question of tonight is Bob Doyle. So here we go. First question. Why should a resident vote for you?
Thank you. By the way, it's Doyle. Anyway, that's the other guy. The reason I believe that I should be the reason I'm running, and the reason I think I'm a good candidate is because I have a background, like I said, in engineering that will serve the community well. I'll drive projects forward that come before us and make sure they're good and improved along the way. Also, I think that the ideas that I have, based on my knowledge of the community, make me stand out as a candidate amongst others in District 2. Their ideas around transportation, their ideas around redevelopment, ideas around waste management, and ideas around public involvement, community involvement, which I think is the cornerstone to my campaign, because I don't think anything is worth doing unless we can get the community's support and for that action. Thank you.
Thank you. And Rich Easton?
I think the reason you should vote for me is fundamentally I believe that the residents should have the primary say in what goes on in Greenwood Village. And that means that we are a home rule city, and I hope that we can stay that way. And that's one of the things that I plan to champion on City Council. The other thing is I've had 6 years of experience with the Planning and Zoning Commission. This has given me a great opportunity to see how our local government works, what the role of our commissioners are relative to approvals of applicant requests, and also seeing how the council works as well. In addition to that background, prior to that, my business background and analytical skills, I think are going to be very helpful in looking at the problems that we have, considering the solutions, both pros and cons, and working toward good decisions that will benefit you and the city.
And Jay Schneiderman?
I think I should be elected council member in District 2 because we're in a unique situation this year in this district in that both seats are opening. Both current council members are term limiting out of their current positions. I think that one of those seats at least should be filled by someone with fresh eyes, new ideas, and I actually think that my inexperience in this realm can be used to my advantage. I come with no preconceived notions. I'm open to listening to constituents and hearing about any and all ideas that are out there to improve Greenwood Village. After living here for more than 30 years, I know how wonderful of a city this is, so I know the baseline for how good it needs to stay, but I can always be looking for ways to improve it. And I think my life experience living overseas and doing many things sort of out of the ordinary have proven that I'm both a hard worker and I can learn quickly. So I'm not worried one bit about taking this responsibility, and I should be able to do so with pleasure.
And Jack Coffey.
Why am I running? I guess I'm running because I said it was my forever home. My wife has actually been here for 35 or 40 years, but I didn't know her then. So it's been interesting to commute from California to here for almost 20 years. And now we've been married 25 years, and I can't say that I've ever had another place to call home, except for where I was a kid. But I think, like many of us here, home rule is a key issue to us being able to maintain the quality of the community in which we live. And I certainly recognize the City Council has to deal with the, if you will, everyday issues of the city, but we cannot lose sight of what gives us that power.
Thank you. We will next move on to District 3, and the question for you all is, what, if anything, should Greenwood Village do about the post-pandemic, persistently low occupancy rates of office buildings? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even say anybody's name. So we'll start with Daniel Zhukov.
Yes, of course. Thank you for the question. I think last I checked, it's 20% emptiness in the office buildings. which is not a terribly low number, and we could definitely get businesses back to Greenwood Village. We have the Denver Tech Center here. It's a great place for companies that prioritize office space to come to Greenwood Village. We're in an AI revolution. We're all about technology these days. I'm sure all of you have a cell phone in your hands these days. We use computers, social media, and a lot of those tech companies are on the uprising right now. We could bring those into Greenwood Village. We have low property taxes here and a low sales tax. That should get those companies in here, especially if they want to provide those services to all of Colorado in all reality. So I think rebranding ourselves as welcoming to those AI tech agencies will help reduce that capacity of open office space. And
Donna Johnston.
Sure, thank you. We already do a lot for businesses, so I think people are aware. Last year we had 893 new business licenses here. People are working more at home, and so there are some vacancies in the buildings, but probably like residential, those leases are going to go down, and then people will start moving in. We have been doing some things. Arapahoe Entertainment District is a perfect example of success. It was something that was a little bit tired, and we did some creative things with that, and now it's booming, and it's attracting new businesses. We also have an e-scooter trial that's over in that area, and some of the businesses had asked that of us because to partner with them because it attracts employees. So we are doing various things. The biggest thing is basically we keep the city safe. We have a safe city, and sometimes when businesses come, they say, why did you come here? And they say, oh, it's a good place to come to, it's safe. So we'll keep it that way.
And Libby Barnacle.
Yes, thank you so much. As I said 4 years ago in the candidate forum, I don't believe that Greenwood Village is anything but prime real estate. I don't believe it's going down anytime soon, and I think that's for a reason. I think that our city staff and our city manager work with builders, work with contractors. It is unheard of the quickness with which people can get through the permitting process, hand in hand with multiple members of our staff. They make the process easy. As my co-council member Donna Johnston mentioned, we in the Arapahoe Entertainment District provided for rebates to rehab old, tired buildings, and it's been thriving. So I think we will continue to do what we've been doing because we've seen success in that.
Thank you. And District 4 is up next, and the next question will be for Tom Stahl. According to the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, approximately 68.6%, or $50,208,241 of the city's funds, is unassigned and available for discretionary spending by the city. How would you spend this money?
Well, that money began to be set aside decades ago by previous councils and the mayor, and we use those funds from time to time to pay for special projects and special expenditures that come along. I'm a huge supporter of keeping that balance high and let it continue to grow. I started on council right after COVID was over, and the city came through COVID in very good financial shape, but if things had been worse, that money would have been set aside to help keep the staff employed and the city services running.
Thank you. Gary Kleeman.
Thank you. Well, I do agree with Tom that, yes, this is critical to keep this discretionary funds a good balance there, so that if there are emergencies, if there are other situations such as COVID and other economic downturns, that the city is in good shape to be able to handle what needs to be done. I'd be, very part of my pledge is to be fiscally responsible, and that goes to this discretionary funding. So basically, it's something that would need to be protected and kept in the bank as it is, so that we are a healthy city.
Thank you. And Catherine Metzger.
I do not know the specifics about that at this point. I would need to look at that. And certainly, being fiscally responsible, this would be put to good use or needs to be moved back for any emergencies we have. And yeah, that's all I can say to this right now.
All right, thank you. And to District 1, the question is, should there be more residential housing in Greenwood Village? If no, why not? If yes, what kinds, where, and how? And we'll begin with Paul Wiesner.
Thank you very much. I don't have the exact percentages, but if you look at Greenwood Village, we got a very solid blend of single-family homes and townhomes and apartments. Probably higher percentage in some of those multi-family housing than a lot of our neighborhood cities. So I think we have a very good mix right now. So I would not try to change that mix. A lot of our residents, especially in District 1, have moved here because they like the single-family homes, they like the trails, they like the open parks. So I feel we have a very solid balance in Greenwood Village, and I would not look to try to modify that.
And Ann Nelson.
If someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the balance is about 47% multifamily within the city, which is certainly, as Paul mentioned, higher than most other municipalities. We have a higher rate of multifamily than the city of Denver does. Not as good as Glendale, which only has one single-family home. That being said, I think Paul is correct that there are reasons people move here. There are reasons people choose this. Our district is unique because it's probably the most rural of the areas. Certainly districts 3 and 4 have more density. So I do believe that we have a great balance, and I would like to preserve the quality of life we have here as a result.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so moving on to the second round of questions. We'll begin the second round with question for District 3. And first up in District 3 is Libby Barnacle. So the question for you is, why should a resident vote for you?
I think that most people, many of which in this room who know me, would say that with me, what you see is what you get. I am as direct as they come. I'm not about political catchphrases or buzzwords. I am not a glossy handout. I am what's below the surface. I am about substance and knowledge and connections that I've made being a lifelong resident of Greenwood Village. I am 49 years old, going to be 50 in December, and my parents are still in the house that I was raised in District 4. I moved to my home, my first house that I purchased 20 years ago. And so because of that, I believe that people should vote for me for continuity, again, for my knowledge, my experience, connections. I am proven leadership, year in and year out.
And Daniel Zhukov.
Yes, thank you. I believe that people should vote for me if they choose, of course, because I believe everybody in this room probably has a child or a grandchild, and sometimes having people that they can look up to or be inspired by that they can relate to helps them do better, helps inspire them to do more. I feel like having myself on city council would help them understand that there is no limit. They can get involved in government. They can get involved in whatever they feel is their passion. And if I'm elected, I would love to be a city council member who could be grounded and connect with people my age and anybody's age parents, grandparents. I feel like people my age, we know how to communicate with people on the same level without any disagreements, and listen and understand and be compassionate, and that's what I look to bring.
And Donna Johnston.
Yes, thank you. Well, I've been on council for 6 years, and the HOA prior. People know me. They know that they can call me. They do call me, and they know I get things done. So, I mean, that pretty much sums it up in a big way. But Libby and I have worked together, and the capital improvement projects and the budget. I mean, all this stuff takes time to really understand your constituents, to figure out, what we keep, what we set aside, and also to be fiscally responsible. But finally, something's come up that nobody ever knows about. Like, I never thought I'd be like the guru on airport noise. It's not on my agenda at all. And, when planes are flying around your house, suddenly it is on your agenda. And so when things come up, people know that I will get involved if it meets that threshold and get it done. So vote for me.
Thank you. Now we will jump over to District 1 and for Ann Nelson to answer first. Your question is, what, if anything, should Greenwood Village do about the post-pandemic persistently low occupancy rates of office buildings?
I would suggest that our occupancy rates are lower than a substantial amount of the communities around us. We have made significant investments in reaching out to landlords and building owners. We're fortunate to have a city council member from District 1 who's a commercial real estate guru. We've made adjustments for signage to give these people some hook so we're not losing people to Denver. We've had several meetings and study sessions with people from the Denver Tech Center for rebranding. We can't make it any more advantageous to do business in our community. We have restaurants and safety, so I think we're pretty well positioned.
And Mr. Wiesner.
Yes, to build on what Ann said and what some of the other council members have already mentioned, if businesses want to move somewhere where there's safety, there's good infrastructure, you got a responsible city or a city that is responsive to the needs, you got a permitting process that does not take decades, and you have an area where you have a number of services such as restaurants that Ann was mentioning. So, for the city of Greenwood Village, if we can maintain and be an attractive city, a destination city, and we have had a number of new businesses apply here, as Councilmember Johnston mentioned. So, that is the course. Be an inviting, friendly city. That's what you have to do.
Thank you. For the next question, we will go to District 2, and Rich Easton will be the first candidate to answer this question. According to the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, approximately 68.6%, or $50,208,241 of the city's funds is unassigned and available for discretionary spending by the city. How would you spend this money? Rich Easton.
It sounds to me like this amount of discretionary funds is what I would call part of a reserve. And when you run an operation, it is absolutely necessary that you maintain a reserve at a certain level to account for contingencies. So I understand that this is why it's there, and it needs to be there and used for situations that require financial support and approved by council. So I would not use it for any sort of undiscretionary or discretionary expenditures at this point in time.
Jay Schneiderman.
I have to say, when I heard that number of $50+ million in the discretionary fund, I actually take pride in that number. Not that I had much to do with it, but I think that's wonderful. I think it's great that the city has been so fiscally responsible over the years to have such a coffer, to not need to use that money, to wait for the right time and place to use that money if necessary. I see other cities and the state itself around us losing money or going bankrupt even. During COVID, there are other cities that had to lay off some of their staff and employees. As far as I know, that did not happen at all in Greenwood Village. And these are things to be proud of. So in how I would spend that money at this point, I wouldn't even touch it. If there's any ideas that are brought before council for how to spend that money, obviously I will look at it with an open mind and do the research necessary to decide if it's a good thing to spend money on. But at this point, there's nothing that I would say that money should be spent on.
And Jack Coffey.
Well, I think we should look at the size of that, but it seems to have worked well for the city in the past. But there are a number of things that have been talked about even here tonight about trying to get more business, more houses into this community. I think we could use some of it to sell Greenwood Village for what it is. One of the few places in this area that is attractive for both business and residents. Employees of those businesses can set up homes here, and I think that would be a use for some of the money. But keeping a good reserve is essential, because you don't know what's going to come along. But whether $50 million is the right number, I have absolutely no idea, not being on the city council and seeing what comes before it.
And Bob Doyle.
Thank you. Well, I think having a reserve fund like this is essential and important. Certainly we individually have monies that we set aside for emergency or unexpected expenses, and that as necessary. But here's where I differ from some of my people that I'm competing for the seat for, is that I think there's an opportunity to use it as a force multiplier in this community, to use it to attract businesses, to use it to address issues like our walkability in the community, our bike paths, for example, that don't go over streets and therefore aren't as used or safe as we need them to be. So there are opportunities to use some of these funds, and I think a good example would be the Greenwood Entertainment District. That area has been successful, but it needs revitalization beyond what it currently is, and others will pitch in to do that, but we could use some funds in that area as well.
Thank you. And for District 4, and for this question, Katrin Metzger will go first. And the question is, should there be more residential housing in Greenwood Village? If no, why not? If yes, what kinds, where, and how?
Well, we do have a comprehensive plan, and we do have residential areas, and there's determined zoning, and being on plan and zoning, I'm in favor to uphold our comprehensive plan, as this is the vision that Greenwood Village has been founded on, and besides small variances to it, I would like to keep it as it is.
Thank you. Next up is Tom Stahl.
Well, our city is a very mature, developed city. We only have one sizable piece of land that is being considered right now. Well, sizable, the Century home zones over by the landmark. And so there really aren't a lot of opportunities to build more housing here. And we did, in the last couple of years, approve the redevelopment of the Maryland Hickey property, included 50 or 60 new for sale townhomes, and that was, we were all very proud to get that passed.
And Gary Kleeman.
Yeah, as Tom said, there isn't much available land, vacant land for new residential. But there are aging office buildings in parts of our office districts that I feel could be replaced with mixed-use that would be residential, retail, and office. So, and this is similar to what's being proposed for the Maryland site, as far as I know, that it's going to be residential with retail, and I feel like that's a very good mix. There's a lot of advantages to mixed use, and develop it into walkable communities where people live and work and play at the same time.
All right, and District 4 will actually stay with you all, and we will ask you the starter question of why should a resident vote for you, and we will ask that of Gary Clayman first.
Okay, here I am again. Well, number one, I have the experience, having been on council for 8 years. I have the experience of being on council and knowing how to get things done, how things work. I know a lot of the city staff. I know the mayor, and you know, it's important to I'll be able to hit the ground running and accomplish things. I've also lived with my family here for 32 years, so I have a good knowledge of the history and raised 5 boys here. So I think, and I'm also a Cherry Creek High School graduate. So basically, I know this city inside and out, and I'm also a problem solver and look at things with an independent eye, and I think that I can do the job better than anyone else in my district. Thank you.
And next up is Katrin Metzger.
Yeah, I'm, as I said before, I'm on the Planning and Zoning Commissions. I'm also involved with the city at this time. I know staff, and I also know the mayor and other people here. We do have 4 children that went through the Cherry Creek School District, with the last one being a senior Cherry Creek High School right now. So I'm available to give my time to all the obligations and duties on City Council, and I'm passionate about it. I'm holding a master's degree in architecture, so that gives me a different view and perspective on anything development and urban planning. I have a children's heritage, so you get children's work ethic, so I really try to make informed decisions. I really go down to the ground to understand the case, really understand the history, really understand the forensics ultimately. And when I was a director on the Cold Place HOA, I was able to detect some areas that kind of were really neglected over years, and that ultimately led to new leadership. And over the last 3 years, finally, many things could be done. So,
thank you. And Tom Stahl.
You know, City Council is it's made up of a group of people, much like a corporate board of directors, and you have to have people that have different skill sets that they bring to it. And we've been very lucky. We have 2 attorneys on it now. We have people with MBAs. What I was a bit surprised is how much input I had over the last 4 years on commercial real estate decisions in the village. I spent 45 years in the commercial real estate industry, and I think my background and my fit on the council has been the most rewarding, having the ability to share my expertise with the other people on council.
Thank you. And moving to District 2, and the first person up will be Jay Schneiderman. And your question is, what, if anything, should Greenwood Village do about the post-pandemic persistently low occupancy rates of office buildings?
I think it's been said several times, but I'll just reiterate. If the vacancy is right around 20%, I believe that's an average. It's not that every building has 20% vacancy. There are some buildings that are full, some buildings that are less so. But I think just by making Greenwood Village a great place to live and work, to show businesses that they can open up with relative ease, that there are other businesses that are thriving and surviving for decades, if not longer. It'll just draw the people back into the office buildings. I think the workplace culture as a whole has changed since the pandemic, but I see that businesses are slowly moving back to a nearly or completely full-time in-office for their employees, and I think it's just a matter of time before people start coming back to the office buildings, and Greenwood Village will be, as it always has been, an excellent destination for any of those companies.
Thank you. And Jack Coffey.
I think there are two approaches that should be taken simultaneously. One is, as I mentioned, to market Greenwood Village as a place where you can live and work and not have commutes, not have spending hours in a car. You can take some of those empty building spaces and repurpose them. Hopefully for some residential, but 20% is a pretty low figure when you look around at the cities that are facing significantly more. And I think there'll be some advances in the repurposing of buildings, but it probably won't start here, but the technology of repurposing it is going to start in those cities that have a significantly higher vacancy rate.
And Bob Doyle.
Thank you. I agree largely with what Jack said. I don't think the 20% represents a widespread problem. I think it's a more specific issue. I think some buildings are done in foreclosure and some have been sold for dimes on the dollar. So I think that's reflective of that issue, and it's very specific to the buildings involved and the area. In order to be competitive in the office space, I think we need to be mindful that it needs to be accessible, walkable. As Jack said, an alternative to getting in the car and commuting someplace. And we have a great opportunity to do that just in this area. There's a lot of residential in this area, as it's not being Greenwood Village, but there's a lot of it. And making this the area accessible, walkable, bikeable is one way to make it attractive to people who work in the offices as well as to residents.
And Rich Easton.
From my perspective, I already think we're doing much of what we need to do to focus on the occupancy rate. I trust our council. This is something that they look at all the time and think about, and we have a great city already, so we have a natural draw to get people back to work here and in the buildings. The issue, obviously, there is opportunities to always think about issues, tax incentives, tenant improvement initiatives, etc. Repurposing may have something to do with changing zoning, and I'm not sure that our residents feel that that's the right thing to do. But we have to understand that incentives and tax improvement or tenant improvement incentives are complicated to develop, can be very costly, and they also have impacts on existing businesses as well, which may not be good.
Thank you. Next up, District 3. District 3. Your question is, should there be more residential housing in Greenwood Village? If no, why not? If yes, what kinds, where, and how? And first up will be Donna Johnston.
Thank you for the question. We do have a good mix of housing ranging from single family to Section 8. And I think just because people don't see them along I-25 like other communities, I can show you. There's hidden pockets. We've designed the city so darn well that there's hundreds of townhomes and condos just tucked away in walkable distance to stores and other businesses and other amenities. So I think we're doing a good job. We're open. At least the existing council is open to more housing, but it's careful and it has to be part of our comprehensive plan and what the people want, not what the state wants us to do. When I make a decision, part of the decision is how many cars will go on South State to Cherry Creek High School. And I'm telling you, it's at a max right now. So it's always in the back of my mind when I make a decision. Thank you.
And Libby Barnacle.
Yes. I had the pleasure of serving on Planning and Zoning Commission for Greenwood Village when in 2016 and 2017 the voters were put a referendum regarding or in response to a massive redevelopment at Orchard Station that would have resulted in some pretty dense housing. I took the testimony of nearly 750 people, whether that be in letters or in person. And overwhelmingly, this community said that they did not want our comprehensive plan, the village comprehensive plan, to shift in balance, creating more multifamily over the current multifamily single-family balance, that I believe is 56 and 44%, respectively. So given that, I would make sure that any residential proposals for single family or multifamily would be jiving with what voters overwhelmingly, resoundingly said that they wanted this balance to remain at.
Thank you. And Daniel Zhukov.
Yes, thank you. I actually share the thoughts of my counterparts to my right. There is plenty of mixed-use, single-family, multifamily housing in all of Greenwood Village, and including in our district. I think there's a majority. I personally would say that we're running out of room to put more and more homes and more multifamily housing, to be completely honest. And a lot of these people that do move to Greenwood Village move for the school. That's why my parents moved here back in 2007 for the Cherry Creek School District. Now, when I graduated in 2020, there was over 1,500 people in my class alone. And over 4,000 people in Cherry Creek High School across all grades. I don't think the capacity of our schools and our roads especially can handle more people. However, it would be great to carefully and reasonably potentially redevelop certain areas near the highways that are open for maybe more commercial services or retail and grocery stores, so that way we can keep it all in the city for us.
Thank you. And to District 1, Paul Wiesner, you'll answer this question first, which is, according to the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, approximately 68.6%, or $50,208,241 of the city's funds is unassigned and available for discretionary spending by the city. How would you spend this money?
So, Colorado is broke. They're raising your taper dollars right now. City of Denver is broke. South Metro Fire District is coming with a tax question to raise some more money via taxes. Being broke and pinching pennies is really no fun. If you have money in the bank like Greenwood Village does, if we want to redo the medians in Bellevue, we can. We need a stoplight somewhere, we put it up. Yeah, so having money takes the question of budgeting and the money decision out of the question. It then turns to what is right for our city. And therefore, having a large reserve is essential so you can make decisions on what's good for the city, as opposed to how are we pinching our dollars. So I would not change the reserve at all.
And Ann Nelson.
I would agree with Paul. I think that's an incredibly enviable position for a city to have. It's a testament to the hard work and the budgeting of our finance people within the city and the various departments. When you look at what they do each and every day to be sure we get the best value for our dollars, and those are best implemented. People talk about, oh, you can use it for other infrastructure. We already budget for those things. We set aside money. We have a budget retreat in the end of the month. And that money is set aside. You know, people have mentioned crosswalks over roads and stuff. All of our red light camera revenue, nobody makes any money on that. That goes to infrastructure and safety improvements. So I leave it as it is and let's just keep doing what we're doing. Save it for a rainy day.
Thank you. All right, so for the final round of questions, we will stay with District 1, and we'll actually stay with Ann Nelson as well. So the remaining question for you is, why should a resident vote for you?
You can't, and I'm still going to win. Also an enviable position to have. We've done some really great things. It's been an honor to work with this council. We've had residents that have come to us and said, we can't make a phone call from our house. We pushed a cell tower over the line, which was heroic. We address, I personally take every phone call that comes in to me. If I can't answer the question, a resident has an answer that afternoon probably from a staff member we've reached out to. So I'd like to keep that going, that dialogue going. We had an open house last week, and the turnout was fabulous. So thanks for that. So thank you for your trust. So vote for me, or not. I'm kidding. Same problem, Walnut.
Always there.
Well, I'm happy for you.
I'll vote for you too. We have 2 votes. We're good.
So, I guess being involved civically is important. That's why you're all here. That's why this country runs the way it does, right? That's what Thomas Jefferson and the founders said. You don't get involved, you're not going to have a democracy for very long. So I'm running for those founders' principles that were laid out. This will be my 3rd term. I love the city. I was born in Greenwood Village. I'm one of the probably only people that can say that on this council. So yes, I enjoy it. It's my backyard. I want to see it succeed. So, and I've got 1 vote.
And you have 2. Oh, yeah, Brett.
Thank you. Next question, or last question for District 3, and we'll start with Libby Barnacle. The question is, according to the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, approximately 68.6%, or $50,208,241 of the city's funds is unassigned and available for discretionary spending by the city. How would you spend this money?
Thank you. We are financial stewards, caring for the savings, which has been very carefully curated by generations before me. I look at former Mayor Nancy Sharp in the audience. She is one of those who helped create this giant surplus, which you never know if you're going to need. I don't believe that we need to spend. We are looking to spend. We don't need to build what's possible. We need to maintain the highest level of services that we have been providing our residents, which is unlimited trash and recycling, which is snow removal. You just have to walk over to Centennial to see they don't shovel or plow the city streets in a snowstorm. We need to rehabilitate those things financially, roads, walls that need to be done. And we consult with experts on the bright, shiny new and proceed slowly and deliberately.
And Daniel Zhukov.
Yes, thank you. $50 million is a lot of money to have in the bank, and compared to the city and county of Denver, which are in debt, we're doing such a good job, and I share the sentiments of everybody and Jay that I'm not on city council, but I feel proud of our city for being able to do that. However, when we have money such as $50 million, that's a large sum of money. Being able to use that money and invest it into certain areas of our city, expanding certain services, enhancing the stuff that we provide for our residents, why they want to live here, it will create a return on investment. Now, not always is the return on investment monetary, but the return on investment can be the happiness of our residents. So sometimes spending a little bit more would help keep everybody happy. However, having a good chunk of money for the rainy days is also very, very fiscally responsible. And as I said, young people like myself are very frugal with money.
And Donna Johnston.
Yes, thank you. We are in great fiscal shape, and no one else is, and it's going to be a real mess in the next 2 years. So I am so grateful that we continue to have a sound fiscal policy. We have a financial guru, Sean Cortson, that keeps us on track with our finances, and he's brilliant at explaining them. Our premiums are kept low because we are so on target with all of our budgeting, and we get awards all the time for our financial stewardship and transparency. I wouldn't change a thing. We also have money that's not even in here for open space. If something comes up, we can purchase it to expand the open space in our community. And we have extra money if we have other projects, like more money for police projects, which we didn't have a chance to talk about tonight, but there's lots of good things in the pipeline.
Thank you. Last question of the night for District 4, and we'll begin with Tom Stahl. And the question is, what, if anything, should Greenwood Village do about the post-pandemic persistently low occupancy rates of office buildings?
Well, everybody has mentioned things like providing good amenities to the office tenants, like retail. Safety is a big issue. Reducing traffic congestion is an issue as well. But the thing that the number one expenditure of an office building owner is real estate taxes. And I'm very proud of the fact that in Greenwood Village we have not raised our mill levy in 20 plus years. So whatever we can do to keep the taxes down, it's going to ultimately help the building owner make their financial deal work.
And Gary Kleeman.
Yes, well, 20% vacancy rate isn't terrible. Nevertheless, we want to improve on that. So I would suggest that we take an inventory of where those vacancies are. And I suspect we're going to find that they're mostly in the older office buildings that aren't as modern and as welcoming to work in as some of these new buildings that we have here. So perhaps after an inventory is taken, if there's a significant number of buildings in one certain area, we might think about offering a tax incentive in order to redevelop those areas into something much more attractive. And as I said before, I'm in favor of mixed-use development, but not high density of residential housing. So mixed use with what it stands for.
And Katrin Metzger.
So Greenwood Village is surrounded by new office space coming from Denver and Centennial, and I think it's really important that we support our property owners to update, upgrade the office space we have. And understanding that Greenwood Village is already very supportive to simplify the permit processes. And I also would like to say that you could maybe be a little bit more lenient in the signage code. I think it would be really important to, in addition to a promotional sign on top of an office building, to have a directional sign on the main floor. I think that was the Empower problem. I would support property owners to upgrade the space to attract more businesses to come to Greenwood Village.
Thank you. And final question of the night for District 2, and the first person up will be Jack Coffey. And the question is, should there be more residential housing in Greenwood Village? If no, why not? And if yes, what kinds, where, and how?
Well, I'm not willing to close the doors on housing development in Greenwood Village. We do have some projects that have been approved that need to be followed up on and see that they in fact conform to the decisions that were made by the previous council. And there is at least one or two good properties to be developed. And if we try to market Greenwood Village as a place where you can live and work and still be able to bike the trails and get to work. I think housing will have to come along with that. But individual projects have got to be carefully reviewed and voted on by the City Council.
And Bob Doyle.
Thank you. Yes, housing is a necessary part of any mixed development, or any development for that matter, these days, for the most part. You won't find people often that are going to put in another office building. Here and there, maybe. But the reality is they rely on a mix of uses, office, retail, housing. In some areas, there's housing where we don't provide it. Like I said, in this area, there's a lot of centennial housing, which feeds that situation. But we need to engineer it to make it accessible, walkable, and connected. We need these areas to be enterprise zones, if you will, of commerce, and people need to be able to live and work and play in an area without community.
Rich Easton.
Yes, it does. I'm not hearing in my work so far that the need for more residential housing is coming up. Okay, and it has been mentioned we are land limited pretty much in the city already, and the opportunity for more residential housing would appear that one option is multifamily, and that brings with it increases in density, traffic problems, and a number of other things that we're all worried about as residents of the city. So my answer is, right now, I don't think we need any more. I certainly would consider it as it comes along and as the market may drive it.
And Jay Schneiderman.
When it comes to the question about more or not more residential housing, I think it all begins with looking at the zoning maps, seeing the areas that are still available for residential housing and that are zoned as such, and then working off of that. I wasn't interested in local politics or what was really going on when the Maryland Hickey project was first developed, but I put great trust in both the Planning and Zoning Committee as well as the council at that time, that they did their due diligence and they did a good job in approving the plans that have since been approved. And I think that Planning and Zoning Committees and councils to come will continue to do so on the little remaining land that is zoned for residential.
Thank you. All right, so we are now to the round of closing statements, so the final round of the night. And we will begin the round with District 4, and Katrin Metzger will go first.
So if I'm elected to City Council, I will listen to our residents' concerns and strive to find solutions balancing various interests and uphold the vision Greenwood Village has been founded on. And I will ensure your voice will be heard, and I hope you use your voice for the good on November 4th.
Thank you. Tom Stahl.
You know, when I ran for City Council 4 years ago, my wife said, "What is your campaign slogan, or what? How do you envision what you're going to do on City Council?" And I said, "Well, I want Greenwood Village to stay great as it is, and just try to make it a little better." And she thought that was really lame. So I came up with a handful of things that in the last 4 years have not changed. It's public safety, fiscal accountability, maintaining a high level of city services, promoting responsible development, seeking traffic solutions, promoting a healthy business environment, and bicycle and pedestrian safety, particularly for our children in District 4 who are going back and forth to the school step.
Thank you. Gary Kleeman.
Yes, I would like you to vote for me for Councilmember District 4. Some of the issues that I'm really interested in working on are traffic congestion. I want to make sure that we look at different avenues, come up with different ideas, try to get residents to use public transportation, try to get the commuters who come into Greenwood Village to use public transportation, and get them to try to do that, because it would be so much better if we could cut down on our rush hour traffic. I want to be very transparent and communicate efficiently with our residents, and make sure that the huge project of rebuilding Cherry Creek High School is done without adverse interruption and any problems to our neighborhoods.
Thank you. District 3, and first up will be Daniel Zhukov.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being here, and thank you to the villagers and residents watching us. I'm running for City Council not to run against anyone in specific, but to allow the voters of District 3 and all over Greenwood Village to be able to vote for a balance on City Council. Many people talk about we need differences in ideas, we need differences in experiences, we also need differences in age, and a balance in age would help create so much more life in the City Council quite literally. So, of course, I mirror everybody's sentiments of safety and being able to keep Greenwood Village the best place to live. But, you know, we need to involve all our residents, and our residents span from very, very young people to retirement age, and I think it's best to be inclusive towards all of them.
Thank you. Next up is Libby Barnacle.
Yes, and I'd like to thank my babies who just came fresh off their game. I'm now an assistant coach for the girls field hockey program for Cherry Creek High School. And thank you to my sweet babies who came to support me at the tail end of this. So aside from that, wow, I found that so insulting. I mean, how disrespectful to these people who are sitting in front of us, to Nancy Sharp, to Dave Kerber, Ann Ingebrigtsen, to Judy Holton, Mayor Lance. I'm not even 50 years old, and I certainly hope that I've got some life left in me. For 6 years, I have been a skilled and accomplished representative for District 3. Donna and I are a great team. We're a dynamic team. We've been successful in our aim to enhance, preserve, and protect the quality of life that villagers have come to expect and that they deserve. I have the experience, I have the education, I have the knowledge, the connection, and I am, like I said before, as transparent and as direct as they come. I know my neighbors know me, and I believe that they are going to re-elect Donna and I, as they should, because we are proven leaders and we perform. We are better together, Donna and I.
Thank you. And Donna Johnston.
I agree with what Libby has said. People know us, and they know to call us, and we get things done. That's the bottom line, and that's what residents want, to know who's representing them and who they can call right away, who will answer and get things done. But I have to say, one thing that really wasn't mentioned tonight is how many laws we're confronted with now, and how much of our job is basically protecting home rule, protecting our citizens' rights for the land use, and then also all of the rules that come down or don't come down on our policing. We support our police. We support our police. And it really is very involved when you have a legislature that can't even support a bill that holds people accountable if they fail to appear in court. I don't know if people know what's going on, but people just don't show up for court, and there's no rules that say that they have to. So the dockets, just pile up, and then nobody shows up. And our legislature can't even pass a law to say, oh, we need to change that. So hopefully, we'll be working on that too, but we're working double duty these days, and I hope you'll support the people that support that bill. Thank you.
And moving on to District 2, Bob Doyle.
Thank you. If elected, I want to do some things on this council, or propose them. There may be a little bit more than what we've heard here from the current council members. The Waste Connections contract's coming up next year. I think we'll find an opportunity to have a more comprehensive solution to waste management that includes not only trash and recycling, but organics, especially yard waste. I've mentioned Greenwood Entertainment District. I think next year is going to be an opportunity to move forward healthily on that, with working with the businesses and special districts to make that area more walkable and more connected to the Village Green area and Arapahoe Station. And lastly, transportation. We need a transportation plan. We haven't had one, and we need one that is comprehensive across the city, addresses traffic congestion, bicycle and pedestrian access, safety, and other modes of getting around. Thank you.
Jay Schneiderman.
I'll end by going back to something that I said in my opening statement, which is that in attending the meetings, both the study sessions and the council meetings for the last year or so, I really have kind of fallen in love with the way that local government works. I found myself biting my tongue, wishing I could say something at least once at every single meeting that I've been to. I would love the opportunity to finally have the ability to say what I think on certain issues. And I think that a vote for me would be a vote for consistency and stability, but also a vote for someone with willingness to look for change and improvement wherever possible and necessary. And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's here tonight. Thank you to the Villager and to the League of Women Voters for putting this together. It's so important for people to take an active part in their community and their local government. And everyone here and everyone watching this after the fact, kudos to all of you for doing so.
Jack Coffey.
Well, better late than never. I will thank the League of Women Voters and the Villager for this. This has been a great opportunity. As far as the voters in District 2, this is a very important election because it is contested. 4 candidates for 2 city council seats. Every vote in this election will matter. My advice is learn all you can about the 4 of us and vote for whomever you feel the most comfortable with. Who's going to reflect your vision for Greenwood Village moving ahead? It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. My information is available in a flyer outside. It's available on a website I have called coffeebreak.org, as long as you spell coffee this way. And I also have a Gmail account, jackcoffey@2025. If you have questions, send me a question. I'll get back to you and answer it.
Thank you. And Rich Easton.
Julie, am I last?
For District 2, but not
okay.
altogether.
I was thinking this better be good.
That'll be fall. It will be.
I strongly encourage you to do some research into selecting and voting for the 2 best candidates for your district. Determine who is the most qualified, with experience, who will focus on the facts and has the integrity and character to make the best decisions for the residents of Greenwood Village. It's important for a council member to have some operating experience with the city, who knows its history, and what is important for ensuring that what we have today continues. I believe local rule is vitally important for our future. Your council member must be willing to spend the time to conduct thoughtful analysis, consider other points of view, and weigh the pros and cons of an issue. This requires care, dedication, commitment, along with the ability to compromise, look forward, and successfully implement change. A council member during their tenure will experience being on both the winning and losing side of an issue. Dealing with these outcomes in an understanding, professional manner is important. Overall, I believe my experience, capabilities, and efforts on P&Z have served the city well. However, I realize I can do more, and I strongly desire to go to work on your behalf over the next 2 years as a council member. I very much appreciate your vote and your support. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will end with closing statements for District 1. First off, Ann Nelson.
I got my nails done yesterday in anticipation of looking at you all, and But there was a lady sitting next to me who was very chatty, unlike myself. And she said, oh, you know, I hate coming outside of the bubble. I was down in Centennial. I said, beg your pardon? She said, well, I live up over, she's in Ann and David's district. She said, I don't like coming out of the bubble. Okay, so we live in the bubble. But she could not have been more complimentary of the current council and moved here from Tennessee. And that's the kind of interactions you want with people, random strangers that love where they are. A former council member said to me, as he handed me a roll of red tape as I entered my oath, the council should spread and shed light and not heat. So to those of you that think I'm old, I'm slightly older than Libby, and I still have a lot of fight left. So.
Thank you. And Paul Wiesner.
You're younger than me.
I think I'd rather you are. So, the decisions that City Council are made from 8 people voting. So you are voting for your district, which is 2 people, but just be aware that there's 8 people that vote on all the decisions. So, to echo some of the comments of the earlier candidate, know who your candidate is. And because you're all here tonight, talk to your friends, because I'm assuming you know individuals that are not in just your district. Because having a cohesive, forward-focused commission, city council is essential. And I've had the privilege of serving on the city council that really gets along well. And I appreciate that. Preserve and protect. That's what I'm about. I didn't move here for change. I moved here and was born here because I love what we have, and I don't want to see it go away. Thank you.
And thank you to the candidates for participating in tonight's forum, and I think they deserve a round of applause. Thank you to Junior Achievement and the Junior Achievement staff for hosting tonight's forum in this wonderful space. To the Villager and the League of Women Voters of Arapahoe and Douglas Counties for sponsoring tonight's forum, and to the League members who volunteered to support this event. And thank you for attending. Please provide your question note cards to the volunteers at the doors as you leave the room. We encourage you to move to the area outside the room where you can meet the candidates and take the campaign literature. But please leave the room as soon as we're done here and vacate the building by 8:30. Vote! As a reminder, let me provide you some more election information. Election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Ballots will be mailed to all registered voters starting October 10th. You can register to vote and check your voter registration at govotecolorado.gov. Thank